Yeah, right. Thank you.
No. Yeah. Yeah. We've just tied it in with the trading line language.
Oh, yeah, because it wasn't on the poster, that's all.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, I thought it might have been cut off the bottom, but I haven't been looking.
Probably the way I put it.
Welcome everybody. I'd like to open the meeting now. It's 5 o'clock. Got apologies tonight from Councillor Dan. So response to public, previous questions taken on notice. There were none. Public questions and statement time.
Excuse me,
Yeah.
as a ratepayer,
Yeah.
can we get a agenda?
Councillor Dan's agenda is there as well.
All right, we've got petition presentations and demonstrations. Today, we've got an award to hand out to one of our esteemed citizens who received a citizenship award, a community award on Australia Day, who wasn't available to be there on the day. So today, we're going to present. If you could come forward, please, Karen. We'll go up to the front, right? We'll do the flags. Okay, come this way. Present you today. So Karen was nominated this year as the Community Citizen of the Year Senior and has taken the category out. The fact that the work that you've done over the years in this community is just outstanding. Your drive for the GREs and tourism, all that stuff that you do in our community is why you have this award today. So I'd like to present that to you. So I really appreciate everything you've done over the years, and especially for their help with Ron's Bruin. That's some fantastic things that was amazing for our community. Doing a lot of work that's happening. So I really appreciate it. Thank you. Would you like to say anything?
I'd like to say a few words. Well, this came really completely out of the blue, completely surprised. The email that was sent, the system wasn't where I was, it wasn't functioning, so I didn't get the message till later, and I just really completely not even in my radar thinking. I would like to acknowledge the Shire and Council for offering the awards in our community, and I'd like to acknowledge all of those who were nominated, quite a few, and those who received awards. Communities don't function as islands of people. These all the people working together with one sort of shared hope of a good and robust community where everyone can do well and prosper. I'd also like to acknowledge Adrian, who's my husband of nearly 48 years, another couple of months, who's always been supportive of everything I do, and when I've been involved more heavily, long hours and so on, with community work, he's always stepped in to help. So it's sort of in a part Adrian's award as well. I think that's all. I think it's really, we have a wonderful community, and when everyone works together to make it more so, everyone will do well. And that's the hope, and that's why you work in your community, you work with family first and then your community, and you really want everyone to do well, so that's the motivation. And love. I love the community, so it's easy, it's no hardship. So thank you.
Thank you.
Question mark?
You just had it. Would you like to ask a question? Yeah, okay. Sorry. Sorry.
Bit slow, are we?
Yeah.
Just a few questions. First of all, do we have Parks and Gardens crew that's working at the moment? Are they all on holidays or something?
We do have a
No.
garden at the moment.
Just asking, mainly along Atwood Street. I've already done Norton Street. Our starburst, Caltrop, is getting way out of control. They need to be picked now while they're still green. People that ride a push bike, I've enough people see me riding a pushy. How many times do I have to fix my flat tyre to ask the Shire to reimburse me for flat tyres all the time? I have picked up all the cattle trots from Priestley Street to Watson Street. I've done all along there, went along there, picked them up. I now work a bit over here in front of 43, 45 Atwood Street, whatever that is. They are coming right over the footpath. When they die, I'm going to have more flat tyres. And I just don't see any people working around town. Our streets look an absolute mess with the weeds. I know everything's dead and whatnot, but a bit neat and tidy. But mainly the starbursts, if we could get them cleaned up, would be good. Thank you. Also, just a few things I saw on the agenda. Fair enough, Joey O'Brien has that block beside the caravan park to buy that for the caravan park, blah, 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 yeah. But just asking the question, why would we buy this other block that's opposite the pool of 33 Hepburn Street as well?
He's asking that as payment plus $20,000 for his block. He's asking us to give that to him in exchange for his block.
Right, so that's how that's going to work. Oh, rightio.
That's what he's asking for.
Yeah. So is the Shire going to go ahead with it? Do we need that block of land? Is that going to be used for Shire housing or?
It's for council to talk about tonight.
Oh, cool. And another one, just to rent for housing in this town is already high enough for me that I think of in this town. To me, I've always known that rental houses is 10% worth of the value. So if a house is worth $300,000, it's $300 a week. The Horizon Powerhouse over there, those are looking at $850 a week for a rental. That's what it says in the agenda, unless I've read it wrong. Is that a little bit too high? Is that going to set a standard for the rest of the town that's going to charge way more than what it's... Really, that house isn't worth $850,000. Sort of 10% is rent of a house. So whether that law's changed, it's been years and years since I've looked at that, but yeah.
There's no law about that.
There's nothing anymore?
There is no law about that. A residential tenancy is worth what a tenant will pay.
Oh, rightio, so that's obviously changed from when I did
It
it.
was a guide.
Yep.
It was a guide.
Yeah.
that was in place.
Yeah. Well, I'm just sort of looking at, like, if yous can charge 850 there, we're going to get other people in town that want to charge a phenomenal amount that no one's going to be able to rent in this town, sort of. So we've already got enough empty houses because, yeah, but just putting it out there. And my last thing is that over at the town hall the other day, absolutely brilliant. Loved it with all the pictures, what could be great, putting it out there for us all to see, know what's going on. Do we have any, I don't know what you call it, donations, royalties or whatever, to start any of them projects yet, or that's just, so all the architects' pictures have just been paid for and that's just a guide we go off now?
So the point of that was to help council develop their community strategic plans in the
Yep.
next 10 years.
Yep.
So a lot of that will be grant funding along the
Right.
way. We're still seeking grant funding for the Shire Admin building. We've
Right.
been rejected twice for growing
No, so
agents.
it's not, yeah,
We've had some grant funding for the cinema.
yep,
And again, we can't seek grant funding until we know what it is we're going to develop. So
Yeah.
it's chicken and egg situation.
so really you've had to pay to get all that architectural stuff done before we can get the money to build it. Yeah, right, so I understand, cool. Brian, thanks for listening to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd just like to point out a couple of things that have been done. The stop sign's been cleaned up and all that. I've spoken to Farley regarding the laneway, and I've done that until we get some information from the surveyors. I bought my tractor lawnmower up to mow the laneway because you couldn't drive down it. I just thought I'd let you know that that's been done. I just wanted to know about the bypass that's going to happen here. Is there a bypass going to happen?
It's on the plans from the government.
It's not, nothing's happened.
Nothing's happened. It's been on the plans for
Yeah.
years past.
Yeah, and just, yeah, I've drive around the town every day and have a look around, but I don't seem to see anything happening in the town. You know, like the Shire doing any clean-ups or mowing or anything. So I just wanted to know what's happening there.
I've seen the result of time. I don't know what to say to that.
Yeah. But anyway, that's all I have to say tonight. So just a little bit more, because the town's sort of not as nice as it was before I came here.
Before summer.
Yeah, I understand that. I understand that. I know it's hot, and but yeah, I've been in the landscaping and everything, and there's a few little things that we could improve on. But I know you're doing well. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Nothing else? No? Good. I'll go up to advice of interest. So we've got interest tonight. We've got partial interest from Councillor Jones, Councillor Homewood and myself with regards to items 12.1.4 and 12.2.2, so the Millions Fund and Race Pub lease. And I've got an interest in item 12.2.5, the lots off the house for rental for the Shire.
Would you like to say what specific type of interest it was?
Mine was, the others were impartiality, and the one interest of mine for the item 12.2.5 was a financial interest. I'd like applications for leave of absence, anybody?
This is one I put in the
Oh, yes,
paper.
you did too for the TSAC as well, for the Millers, 12.1.4.
Yeah.
So sorry, also, sorry.
And is that a financial reimbursement?
That's an in-house, yeah, really, as well. So we're on to the confirmation of the minutes. And then the meeting we had in January, 22nd. To move, got for officer recommendation that council endorse the minutes of the ordinary meeting held on the 22nd of January 2025 as circulated. To be confirmed as a true and correct record proceedings. Someone put that forward, please. You on TV? Yeah.
I read the minutes, I was going to realise that I was there.
One second, Councillor Kelly. Do you have any questions from the minutes? Any questions? No? That's good. Rightio. Announcements by presiding member without notice. Oh, voting? Yes, I'll vote for the minutes. Sorry, everybody. Vote for the minutes. Thank you. Elected members' presentations and reports. Councillor Jones did the Gintana meeting, the Mullis Community Benefit Fund meeting, Race Club meeting and the Community Engagement Workshop. We didn't send my copy, so would anyone else like?
Yes, I have.
MRVC on the 12th, that's all.
Yeah.
All I've got, I think.
Councillor Jones.
Through the chair, I attended the workshop as well.
NYC and then you did the workshop.
Yeah, and the workshop, and just the workshop, voting on language workshop meeting.
It was the Race Club and the Community Engagement meeting. So we're moving now to item 11.1 is the action register project updates, CEO KPI, performance schedule and staff metrics report. Through that.
I'm happy for councillors to take that as read if you wish, if there's any questions.
Questions? I'd like someone to move that council notes the action register project updates and staff metrics report progress against KPIs.
So if I could just make one adjustment to that. Yesterday we received approval from the Department of Planning, Lands and Heritage for our proposal around David Master's house. So we have full approval now to go around and start making those improvements.
Through the chair, is that the headmaster's house, will that be done with grant funding?
That'll be up to council to decide.
That'll be in the budget this year. Yeah.
And then obviously decide what the building's going to be used for.
Got to fix it first, I think, yes.
Well, that's
And then we'll work out what to use it for, yes. So I need someone to move that council adopts the statement of financial activity. Oh, I'm sorry. Council notes the action register project updates and staff metrics report of progress with the KPIs of the Chief Executive Officer as presented. Someone move that, please. Councillor Jones. Someone second the motion, please. Councillor Kelly. Any other questions? Vote for the motion, please. Thank you. 12.1 is our finance. 12.1.1 is the statement of financial activity for the period ending 31st of December 2024 and the 31st of January 2025. Is there anything interesting that we need to speak about tonight, Denise, or in our financial report? Any irregularities that we should know about?
If we go straight to the January report, in the material variations, there's no changes with the grants and contributions. There's grants commission and main roads are higher than anticipated. Fees and charges are higher than anticipated for wastewater, scrap metal, cemetery, airport, visitor centre and commercial property leases at this stage. Term deposit renewals, the interest is still down, but that's just the timing issue with how we've got the deposits on. Other revenue rates, other income there's a decrease. Tourism reimbursements, there's an increase that are permanent. Reimbursements to debt collection, health administration, they're all timing issues. Materials and contracts, rates, legal, debt collection, audit fees, rubbish tip, consultants, materials, consultants, they're all a timing issue. There was the material for the water access at the cemetery, which was permanent, and there's some timing issues with school holidays, private works, information technology are higher than expected for this period of time. Other expenditure, there is a permanent increase in the members' travel and accommodation increases. Depreciation is due to variations from the revaluation. Inflows from investing, the proceeds from capital grants, roads to recovery, Watson Street, LRCIP, Warrenham, the road Weybridge. They're a timing issue, and the LRCIP phase 1, 24,000, that's a permanent, an increase of 24,000 that we didn't have in the budget. The capital, it's timing on plant purchases, and there's been some purchase orders raised for some fencing and some of that sort of thing at the minute. So hopefully they'll kick over in the next couple of months. And the same with the infrastructure, with the airport runway, town dam fencing, Washdown Bay and the Weybridge. Oh, lost my page.
Denise, you might like to let the councillors know which page you're up to as well.
Oh, okay, I've skipped because I went straight to my temporary page. Let me, page 42 of the agenda. This is just the variations for the January report. There's no point going over the December ones at this stage. So a PO has been issued for the town dam fencing. So that project will be underway. The Weybridge is underway. So those things hopefully will get tidied up. And then if you just go to page 44, just the snapshots, 44 or 45 is probably better, the graph that actually shows where we're tracking operating revenue against budget, operating expenses against budget. So operating, we're tracking reasonably well. It's just the capital works that are not tracking on target at this stage.
Anyone else got any more questions for Denise? Want someone to move the council adopts the statement?
Through the chair, Mr. President. Does that mean the capital works haven't been started or not finished or?
Not finished.
No, it just means they haven't been invoiced yet.
Sorry?
They haven't been invoiced yet.
Haven't been.
Invoiced.
The big project, the admin building, well, that's not going to commence. That's a $3 million project. So if you take that off there, we're probably closer than what that graph does show.
Someone to move that council adopts the statements of financial activities for the period ending 31st of December 2024 and 31st of January 2025 as presented. Councillor Homewood. Councillor Kelly, second the motion. To vote for the motion, please. Thank you. Twelve point 1.2, it's page 58 on the agenda. This is the accounts for endorsement for January 2025. No questions today, so I'll move forward that someone to move that council pursuant to R13A of Local Government Financial Management Regulations 1996 endorses the schedule of accounts paid for January 2025 as presented and summarised as follows. Credit cheque payment 0, credit EFTPOS payments $249,065.28, direct debit payments of $38,075.10, wage salaries and superannuation of $170,212.48 gives us a total of $457,350.86. Put that motion forward, please.
Through, the salaries and wages, that's for a month, that figure there?
Yes. For the
That's
January 25.
Sorry?
As of January 2025.
Yeah. And is that the same amount every month?
No, because it's the months change with the days. So this month's only 28 days, this month, so it'll be less. That month there will be 31 days.
Nothing to do with staff movements, it's just the days in the month, is it?
Mostly, yes.
The number of pay periods in that month.
So not overload half a week or something. Yeah. So someone to move that, please. Councillor Kelly's moved. Someone second the motion, please. Councillor Jones. Vote for this, please. Thank you very much. 12.1.3 is our rate schedules and other financial information for 2025.
Any queries prior?
So someone to move that council will endorse the following reports as attached. Debtors 90-day action, January 2025, rate reconciliation report, January 2025. Want to move that, please? Councillor Jones move the motion. Someone to second the motion, please. Councillor Holmes seconded the motion. Vote for this motion, please. Thank you. 12.1.4 is the Ramilius Community Benefit Fund Advisory Group, February 25. I'd like to speak this at all. No? Not need to? No? Right then, let's move forward then. Someone move that we accept, receive the minutes of the Ramilius Resources Gold Community Benefit Fund Advisory Group meeting held on the 10th of February 2025. Someone move that, please. Councillor Williams. Someone second the motion, please. Councillor Jones.
Up to 70.
Page 70 we're on, sorry. So, the council receives the minutes of the Ramilius Resources Gold Community Benefit Fund Advisory Group meeting held on the 10th of February 2025. Endorse recommendations made for the funding in those minutes being Creative Bites, the Mount Magnet Coding Club, $4,213. The GSAC Mount Magnet Youth Centre fridge is $1,099. Mount Magnet Gymkhana Club insurance expenses for 24/25 $1,556. The Mount Magnet Race Club Stables project is $10,000. And authorises Chief Executive Officer to make the payments from the Community Benefit Fund deposit account. So we'll vote for that, please. Chief Executive.
What page?
We're on now on page 124. 12.2.1, lot 221, 108 Burn Street, Mount Magnet. So this is the block that's been offered for sale to us. With, so we're on page, sorry, we're on page 124. This is the block that's adjacent to the caravan park. So it's the block that we're seeking to purchase off Mr. O'Brien.
Yeah.
So Mr. O'Brien's offered to sell us the block for $20,000 plus another block up that's offered by the Shire or owned by the Shire, and also for us to pay for all the transfer costs on top of that as well.
Through the chair, that seems to be pretty steep.
I think I would agree with you, to be honest with you.
The only issue is that the Shire double all that stuff, isn't it?
No.
Up here? Yes, there is. There's been dirt there for months and months and months.
That's not his.
No, it's, I think you'll find that the deputy president said that the Shire put the dirt there on his land.
Okay.
It's been there for months.
It's not a big opposite then.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It's not all the way up to the fence line, but it's on half of his block.
It's easy to remove.
So because of that, he's setting a pretty high standard, I would have thought. But anyway, that's what we've got to decide on. That's been there for a long time, and I'm pretty sure permission wasn't given for them to dump all that stuff there. So I don't know. And the other block, which block are we actually, the one that he wants is the one?
One that he owns is the one in red. And the one he wants is the one down opposite the pool,
Opposite for what?
next between Mel's and Sophie's, I think, or Mel's and
Oh, yeah.
I'll never go his old house.
Yeah, okay, now they know.
That's what he wants.
It's
It's only
only
plus
a
20 grand.
small block there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the same size as the one he's got.
Now it's been moved, so.
Through the chair. I've actually had a conversation with Joey about the material on his block, he doesn't care about it. But I don't have a problem with $20,000 for the block, as it's in our interest to get it, but I'm sort of a bit hesitant to give him a block of land as well. Yeah, I reckon it's an either offer. Either we give him a block of land in lieu of his, or he takes the $20,000 would be, is the way I'm looking at it. Yeah, that's just my opinion. It is in our interest to get that block for obvious reasons, but we've got to pay a reasonable price. I think $20,000 is a fair price because he knows we need it. He's going to hit us high anyway.
Yeah.
He knows we need it, but 20 plus another block, I think that's it's a bit out there, in my opinion.
Through the chair, what's he going to do with the block? Is he going to do something with it?
So
Is
it's
it
doing
down,
now.
or is he going to leave the vacant?
I'd say do the same. I've got no idea as to. Do you know? I think we need to put an alternative resolution forward to this time.
Yeah.
You agree on that, everybody?
Yeah, yeah.
I'll
move-
alternate resolution to this. Do you feel?
I would agree with this resolution. So I would vote for this resolution.
Okay. Well, do you want to move this motion then, as it is?
This one?
Yeah.
Yes, I'll move that motion. This resolution.
Yeah, Someone want to second the motion?
Chair, I'd second if I knew he was going to do something positive with it, because that's a pretty handy block across from Paul.
It is very handy. Well, every block in Mount Magnet is handy.
Well, I was going to say that, but that one is. And I'd second if I knew that there was something of substance going on that.
Through the chair, do we have a valuation on that block that, that Joey wants as well? Does the show have a valuation on what the block's worth?
The previous one's written in there.
I've provided the previous sales prices for council's consideration.
Sorry?
Yeah.
Provided the previous sale prices for council consideration. In 2023, there were 4 residential block sales ranging from $7,000 to $12,500. In 2024, there was just 1 vacant block sale for $5,500.
Were they on the main street?
One of the 2023 ones was not $12,500.
Well, just several years ago, the CEO at the time negotiated a price to somebody in town for a corner block, which is rather large, for $500. So I think that set a precedence for the price of land to come down for vacant blocks.
Through the chair, he has got a price of $20,000 in the one we want, which is above market price or value, but I'd be prepared to back that, but not the extra.
No. So we have to do some sort of negotiation with Mr. O'Brien, please. And like Councillor Black was saying, we need to know his intent with the block once he gets it. What's he going to do with it? Just going to
I think we should negotiate with him on that block, the purchase price of that block. It's just my opinion. Or he takes another block in town. In lieu
Just
of.
takes one in lieu rather
Yeah.
than one in money.
I know this.
So, to solve the question, but, you know, I'm pretty keen for the Cameron Park to get that block. And sometimes because of where it is, it's not because the block's, you know, it's still dirt like every other block. That's an important block for the caravan park. So there's a premium there if you want the caravan park to increase its size and improve. So you've got to pay a price. Now, if it's, you know, what's the block down there worth? You know, there's a couple of auctions that we've had, the CEO will tell you, they didn't get people back down on the one sale fell through completely, wasn't sold at 3,000 bid or something. The other one was made 10,000 with a horrible house on it, and the bloke was linked on that. So really, you know, for the sake of about $5,000, it's going to hold the caravan park back. So that's why I suggested that perhaps if he's going to do something with it, that we should agree with the proposition.
So the chair, he's not going to do anything with it. He's living in wage and he has no intention of coming back here.
Mr. President, it's likely that the 2 blocks are worth equal value.
Yeah. That's why I thought we'd do a like for like on the main street.
The actual value of the blocks is very similar, but he knows that we want that block. And therefore, the $20,000 is probably twice what it's worth. Anyway.
Well, through the chair, I think that we've progressed quite a bit with actually negotiating this far, because nothing's happened for years and years. We would have just kept that block and because as Councillor Black said, he's got family ties to the town. It's called, what's the word?
In his words, he told me when I first spoke to him about this, that he'd still like to have a block of land in Mount Magnet. And that's all it is ever going to be to
Yeah,
it.
because it's family history. It's family history.
And that block was
Yeah.
where they lived.
That block's actually, the one down here, and that's not where, the hers was actually built in the first block on the other side of the fence where the current caravan park fence is. That's where that was built, so there's a big tie up with the family, and that's why it's not the
So-
hers down there.
There's someone to second this motion. Councillor Williams.
Nothing to do with it, right?
Moved it.
So what are we up to?
You moved the
I'll
motion.
move the motion that we accept this motion.
So I need someone to second it if we're going to go that far. Or we'll come up with an alternative motion.
Well, I'll second it.
Rightio then, so that's on the table. So we're going to vote for this motion. For the motion. Against the motion. So that's
Through the chair, are we able to speak to him and see what he says about, like, we'll buy that for 20 and then sell that to him for another price or whatever?
Council could make a motion about a return back to them.
Like, there's no harm in having a discussion before.
No,
Yeah.
I think we should have a discussion.
no, because yeah. So we're up to a second motion now, and we do want to buy the block. We do need to negotiate a bit better than just. And that's we're talking at $40,000+. That's what the value of the block in the main street is. Plus also the cost of transferring it, everything as well. On top of that. So it's- do we?
We would ask for something to.
Yeah.
That's what, can I move a motion that we negotiate with Mr O'Brien on the block 33 Hepburn Street. So, and in the negotiation, we can fully accept his price of $20,000, but we are reluctant to give him another block unless he wants to either lower his price dramatically on the block that he wants to sell us and take another block, or take another block, something along those lines.
So perhaps council could authorise the president to negotiate on their behalf,
Yep.
being aware of the conditions that you've foresaid.
I'm happy to move that.
So that council authorise the president to negotiate the terms of sale with Mr O'Brien.
Yes.
So does council authorise the president to commit, or does council wish to have the offer returned next month?
What do you guys think? Do you want the offer returned back to us next month, or do you want me to negotiate?
And in the meantime, you will.
Try and negotiate, try and come up with a better offer than what he's got for us.
So that council authorise the president to negotiate the terms of sale with Mr O'Brien and to return with in principle agreement. For council endorsement at the next meeting, at the March meeting. So that council authorise the president to negotiate the terms of sale with Mr O'Brien and to return with in principle agreement for council endorsement at March meeting.
With that, yeah. Someone else has to second it.
Oh, I'll second it.
Yeah. So Councillor Jones has seconded the motion. We'll vote for the motion. Yeah, this is a different motion now, so we're going to vote again. So we've got to vote. Yep. against? You voted for?
Well, we've got to do something, so that's why I'm voting for you to negotiate.
Yep, that's it, that's good, that's right.
And hopefully it turns out to the Shire's advantage.
That's
It's
what-
never go two ways. If we get block or we don't get
So you voted against? Motion was supported.
block. I'll vote for that.
Okay.
As long as we understand that we're not, it might not turn out how the Shire wanted it.
No,
Council doesn't need to accept a negotiated.
It's in your.
yeah, you guys have to make a decision next month. Yeah, just try and renegotiate this, get a better deal. Right, so we're going to move on now. On to 12.2.2 is the Mount Magnet Racecourse lease.
So there are three interests disclosed in this item. Let's just make that clear.
Yeah, the screen, yeah, myself, Councillor Homewood and Councillor Jones are all members of the Race Club Committee. So we're just going to have
We've
a
been party to negotiations to this point.
yeah, we have been, yes, so,
So this arose at the start of the financial year when the race committee had a meeting and they talked about having seeking funding to extend and improve their buildings. Looking into that, it became apparent that the race club don't have the legal authority to seek funding for buildings on that property, as the property is currently leased to the Shire from the department. So the vesting order that was initially presented to the Shire and to Council made it very clear that there was no rights to sublease this reserve. So by putting that codicil in the lease agreement, the minister's been quite clear that he expected any race meetings to be run by Shire. Now that wasn't really followed up at the time, and what's happened instead is that the race committee, which is a very successful committee, have run these meetings ever since, and they've run them really well, and they have built a number of facilities that allow the race meet to occur. So now that we've got to the point where we realise that the race committee are responsible for building the buildings, however, I've provided a fair bit of advice here for council to be aware of about the risk that the current situation provides to councillors personally, and to the Shire, and to the race committee members also personally, in that if there was for some reason a claimable event, that we would all be considered negligent in our duties for not putting the appropriate leases and licences in place. And it's quite simple procedure to just put the licence in place. I believe the race committee already has insurance organised. They have workers' compensation insurance and they have public liability insurance that covers them for 12 months of the year. So it covers their volunteers as well as any race goers. However, the way it stands currently, with the race committee not having legal tenure over the grounds, there is an open door for a claim to be denied and for committee members and councillors to be held personally responsible. So effectively, this is my role to point out to councillors when there is a risk. So the Department of Planning, Lands and Heritage has pointed out in their advice that any construction on the property without approval from the Minister of Lands through a lease agreement is considered an offence under the Lands Administration Act. So that's not a wonderful place to be in. And the Shire's lawyers have provided advice that councillors may be in breach of their statutory responsibility by not entering a formal agreement with the race club that is endorsed by the Minister. The initial discussions that came up with the race club were around a licence to use the facility during the 2 periods of time. And throughout the rigorous discussion about the detail of the licence, it was discovered that the majority of the race committee would prefer an exclusive use, which becomes a lease agreement. Either way, we now need to return to the Minister for approval again. We now have Minister's approval to sublease the land to the race club. That's been achieved. The Minister has given approval for the previous licence agreement, although now we will need to reapply for any changes that are made to that. I would like to assume that councillors have read the agenda item, and I'll open it up now to questions.
So through the chair, the bottom line is, I guess it's so we're very lucky that when tax and community period. Because, the other thing is a big response from part of the land when they get pulled out of life. Because they're the most difficult group of people who are in the world.
Through the chair, Mr. President, you probably know, for the race club, when they run a meeting, they pay for their own public liability insurance. So if you say a jockey got hurt,
That's
or a patron there got hurt, that's on the race clubs.
Yes.
So this is a separate, is this a separate issue of another insurance company, or to do with?
No, not really. So it's a combination of all the factors, Councillor Williams. So the race committee do have insurance. However, if there was a claim, the insurance company has an opportunity to deny the claim on the basis that the race club don't have legal right to operate on that property.
And the only way they'll have legal rights is to have a lease,
To have a lease.
not just a verbal agreement or what's
It
happening.
must be a written lease that is approved by the minister.
Right, I see.
So it's not, and this is not, the confusing part for everyone is that the minister is the owner of the land, it's a reserve. The Shire are the managers of the land. So while council will sign the lease and council are considered responsible for the lease, and council are also considered the occupier under the Occupiers Act, it is still the minister who owns the property. And he's the one that the lease agreement eventually is with. So council is council are acting as the minister's agent in this regard.
So through the chair, what's the race club do? They control that. They have to go through a situation where they've got a lease, a rental agreement with the Shire. Do that, you know, I mean, what's
At the moment, there's several different thoughts. The insurance is a big killer for us at the moment. So pay public liability on that all year round is a hell of an expense. So there's several different thoughts at the moment, and the race club haven't made a decision on this. They're still talking, still to and fro. There's two different chains of thoughts. One is take over the whole control of it, lock, stock and barrel, foot out insurance. The other one is let the Shire have it, and we have an agreement that's used once a year, and the Shire own everything. The Shire still do the maintenance, we still do the working bees and busy bees before races, all that sort of stuff. And the same with the Gymkhana Club. The Gymkhana Club's been left out of negotiation a bit on this one, but they take it over for a day a year too. There's pros and cons on each one, but I look towards the Shire owning everything. That way, if there is future development out there, it's completely Shire. The race club are never going to want to manage backup caravan park or anything like that. They're never going to want to do that. And that's the same thing if there's any events out there like 21st or 50th or whatever, It's a Shire controlled event. They come to the Shire, these people who want it come to the Shire, organise whatever it's going to be with the Shire.
Which then, would that mean then if somebody wanted to have, say, a 21st birthday out there, which I know that there's been,
Yeah.
they'd come to the Shire and have to pay a fee,
Exactly.
and that would be in our fees and charges eventually.
It'll have to be negotiated through the
That's what I
club.
mean.
Yeah.
Would it be a prohibitive amount of money to stop people from utilising that facility to say, to have country and western band out there or some other events?
That's the idea. The problem is if the Shire take it on, if the race club take it on their own terms, the insurance would kill it.
Yeah.
That's where we're at the moment. We've got an insurance policy for the next, quote for insurance policy for the next 12 years, and I can't remember what that is off the top of my head.
Yeah.
But that's just for 12 months, sorry. But I'll guarantee you next year it's going to go up, the year after it's going to go up, and it'll probably double every time we apply for it. So at the moment, the way I see this is the race club have really got to make up their mind what they're going to do.
Yeah.
There is a part to that as well in that council need to, because there's, throughout the discussion, there's been some people who have said they don't want any sort of agreement and continue as it is.
Yeah.
So the point of putting this up is that council understand that the negotiation needs to happen and there needs to be some sort of formal agreement.
Yeah. And if that's how the motion was written, I'd be more than happy to move that. But it's council endorses proposed attached licence agreement as negotiated with the race club. Well, there is nothing negotiated at the moment with the race club. The race club can't figure it out themselves, let alone negotiate with somebody else.
We've had some negotiations with ourselves. We've had an original agreement. We've gone through that. We've had committee meetings as well and come up with alternatives. We've changed a few things. We've had second legal advice from other lawyers, basically saying a similar thing to what the original lawyers put down themselves, saying basically the same stuff. And a letter from the DPH that we got the other day basically says the same thing. So all those three items there are pretty well saying the same thing that we have.
Through the chair, I mean, you've already highlighted the issue. You've got a race club make a decision of what they want to do. You've got two factions in the race club. Seems to me, when I've heard the other side of the story, and that it hasn't been explained all that well until I actually read this. And I can see, it's pretty obvious that it's got to be done, but we can't make a decision if the race club haven't agreed themselves, can we?
See, a lot of the race club people, and I understand this, that it's been built over a long period of time by volunteers, and a lot of it has been donated items that's been built out. So there's a sense of ownership at the moment, and that's where the dispute is. And I'm in the race club, I'm highly involved in it, so I know how it's working.
So there's two important factors to think of here. One is there's a gymkhana coming up.
Yep.
So now that we're aware of all of these risks, we need to put something in place, at least for that period of time. The other thing is that if council retain ownership and short-term licence the use of it, then there comes a problem with additional buildings and work done to buildings. Because if council owns it, then council has to have the say over the buildings, which the race club's not really happy about having either.
Well, through the chair, I've explained this to that no matter what we do, council will have an involvement in any future buildings out there because it's a public space and everything has to be.
That's right.
Yeah, we have to have a licence to do everything.
Yeah.
So I've made that point
Yeah.
to several people, and it didn't go down very well,
No.
but that point has been made.
Okay.
If the race club agree to this, is some of their concerns, because I've read the whole thing about floors and whatever, are they worried that they're going to have to put concrete floors down and spend a lot of money out there on the infrastructure, add on to the infrastructure and the toilets and all those sort of things?
Through the chair, we're going to have to do that anyway. And it's going to have to be funded from an external source because neither the race club nor the Shire can afford to do it. So that's something that we're going to have to do anyway within the next 10 years.
I mean, obviously, people in town would want to see that remain, because apart from the two venues, there used to be 2 race meetings every year, and the two can't. But it is an ideal location for the rock bands or whatever else. They've had Bush Poets Speakers Society out there, I remember going to that years ago. So it's a good venue to have noise for, so it's not disrupting the town, but it's out far enough away to be,
Private event.
yeah, private event, yeah. Not disturbing anybody in town, so.
Yeah. I'm more than happy to go and talk to the President, Deputy President, and try and get a meeting in the very foreseeable future from the race club's point of view to try and resolve this, because we had AGM, it wasn't 2 weeks ago, and it didn't even come up in conversation, which I tried to bring it up and it just didn't go anywhere. So we need to have a meeting on this event.
Maybe an alternate motion.
Yeah, and I'll move that, and I'll even try and get it happening from the race club
Because
point of view.
effectively at the moment, it's only me
Yeah, no,
people representing the Shire, and I need council.
Yeah.
If council want this to happen, I need council.
or it has to happen from both parties.
So the motion will be the council support continuing negotiation with the race club to achieve formal tender over the site. So that'll be our motion from there. Right, so
I'm happy to
we
move
don't
that.
have to move the original officer recommendation, we'll just go with that.
Yes.
So the motion will be, councillor Williams, that council support continuing negotiation with the race club to achieve formal tender over the site.
Speak a bit slower.
That council will support, council supports continuing negotiation with the race club to achieve a formal tender over the site. So that's what that we are. Councillor Holmes, they'd like to move that.
I'll move that, and I'll talk to the President and my deputy this week.
Councillor Day? Okay.
Good luck on that one, Councillor Handel.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Good luck on that, because I tell you
So
what.
those in favour of this motion, everybody?
We've had plenty of arguments over it too.
You're. So we're on to page 170, 170.
What page, sorry?
170, it's the audit and risk committee amendments.
There we go.
Yeah, we have to engage an independent audit person to chair our.
So changes to the Local Government Act mean that council must establish an ARSA audit risk and improvement committee. The audit functions which are greater than the standard of the current audit committee means that council will need to adopt the terms of reference for that committee, and the terms and will need to appoint a presiding member and deputy presiding member. If council appoints a deputy presiding member, then they cannot be a member of the local government or work for a local government.
So through the chair, we have to have an outside president.
Yeah.
And if we have
If you appoint a deputy,
it has to be, so we can get a president from another shire
no,
to preside.
Has to be someone
No, I'm not
involved in
involved.
local government.
No, even the president.
that's right.
Right, okay.
So potentially what's being targeted here is a finance and risk expert who can give council independent advice separate to that which you've said on that.
Can we have our accountant?
Which accountant?
Denise is employed by the shop.
Anyone who's employed by us.
Well, we've got to do it.
You don't have a choice.
The State Administrative Tribunal has also set the fee that you may pay this person at a maximum of $130 per meeting. And they are subject to the same electronic attendance rules as councillors, in that they may only attend 50% of meetings by Zoom. The other 50% must be in person. So that's going to make it very difficult to attract somebody. However,
Yes, yeah.
probably the best option is to just put them variously out and see what we get back. And if nobody comes back, then we'll advertise again. We'll keep advertising until somebody puts their hand up.
So we can get someone local, what's that?
We can.
Would you, through the chair, would you advertise in the,
It's prescribed how we advertise.
newspaper ad?
So through the chair, did I read that you could, a few shires could get together and have this committee for covering, say, Kew, Magnet?
You could. It means that this committee would be considering matters from Kew, Sandstone, Elgin and Mount Magnet together in the one meeting.
That's a lot.
Well, we have to pursue it, we don't have a choice, so I'll have to move it as read.
Yeah, so I'm going to move the council agree to establish an audit risk and improvement committee and authorise the CEO to advertise an independent chair with remuneration of that 130 meeting. So for someone, put that forward, Councillor Black and Councillor Donald first. Yeah. Councillor Black. Right. Everybody for the motion? Thank you. Alright, 12.2.4, I'm going to leave the room.
No, it's residential
Next one?
tenancy.
That's the next one, sorry. You can have this one. You can do this one, you can do the next one. Sorry. All right, 12.2.4 is the residential tenancy lot of 226. That's the doctor's house in Watson Street. Currently leasing it to them for $650, isn't it?
Yeah. So the current lease has expired entirely. The deed that was signed last year actually states there are no further rights to renew or extend the tenancy agreement. So an entirely new tenancy agreement needs to be entered into, and the tenancy agreement will be in the form of the one prescribed in the Residential Tenancies Act. Entirely up to council if you wish to set an increased rate. It's worth, as I've mentioned, it's probably it is the best house that council owns, and the rest of the houses are in a very bad state. And council is part of the budget review, because there's significant capital to be spent on our houses at the moment. So, with the exception of the 2 units, this is the only one that's in a zero state for remembering. And you said that one of their employees are already living in that house. So effectively, we also get a free employee housing as well. Rents in town are averaging, as I say, anecdotally, $650 and $1,000 already. The transport and haulage industry have already pumped the rent up dramatically. And if council were to offer it too low, which 650 actually is on market value, then we are effectively, we're subsidising the rising power to remain here.
Through the chair, I've never been a fan of leasing this place out, as everyone here knows. We lease it out and we're always talking about building extra houses or renovating houses for our staff, and in the next item we're going to lease a house for a staff member. But I've said this every time it's come up, so I'm happy to go along with whatever council decides. So I just want to know that I'm not a fan.
The CEO mentioned that we do actually have an employee that lives in the house, so we actually are getting in sense of free housing for it. And also, I know that that Horizon Power, without having Gerhard here, I don't think our responses will be anywhere near as good. I mean, our power's pretty borderline some days.
Like today?
It's like today, but
It's not our job
as
to
soon as that
stop
went
it.
off, I could see, I saw, he actually stopped my phone on the phone, so it was straight away organising all that stuff. But, yeah,
Through the chair, look, I think it's a bit too high, and as far as the fees, the truck drivers paying exorbitant fees they were, that's true. But 90% of them, most of them have gone. I know I have 3 houses rented out to truck drivers, and they've all gone, leaving arrears in rent, etc. And we weren't getting anywhere near $850 a week. But that is certainly probably the best house in Mount Mangan, certainly the best one the Shire's got. So I think it's a bit steep personally, because if everyone finds out about that, I do think there'll be people who want to jack up their house rentals in Mangan.
like the grow houses.
Yeah.
Through the chair, I disagree that if we are going to lease this house out, which I'm against, we might as well get everything we can for it, and it is a rise to power at the end of the day.
I should know this, it comes from
So through the chair, it's the rise in power that pays the bill, not the tenant.
Horizon Power.
Well, through the chair, I don't know if the CEO might know, but for many years, the ratepayers here paid an extra $50 on their rates for years, and that was to cover the cost of the house being built. Now, we know that a lot of people in town read the agenda, they read that, and I think, God, we've already put money in for years and years and years. $50 extra on the rates was a levy to pay for that house. So we have to keep that in mind, that we don't then look like the Shire's taking money and making more money out of the residents that have paid the $50 over many years. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Sort of.
You don't understand what I'm saying? Well, when I first came to town, the house had just been built, and it was being built. I just can't remember. But we had a levy of $50 to go towards, because it was the doctor's house.
To the doctor.
It was the doctor's house, and so that's how we all got levied an extra $50 on our rates. Now that went on for many, many years. Now people will read this and they'll say, God, the Shire's going to go all this money, and look at all the people in town that paid an extra $50 for 10 years or something.
So you should charge more than $1,000 to get your money back. That's what you're trying to say.
Well, I'm thinking that we need to do something for an early rate incentive to keep people on side, because I can see, honestly, we don't get anything for our rates. A lot of people think we don't get anything for our rates. We just get our rubbish bins picked up, and that's a common. Because you can't see what else you're getting for your rates. Some people just think, we put our rubbish bin out and that gets empty. But I'm just saying that we need to keep that in mind.
Yeah. All right. Let's just
Through the chair, the other issue is, the next time the Valley Journal comes up here, the rates, you know what that's going to do, don't you? It's going to up the price of our rates to glory.
we'll just adjust the cents in the dollar to suit it, which we have been doing. We've charged them $650 for the last 12 months. 12 months?
So through the chair, it's $650, not $8.
It's $650 at the moment.
Councillors wanted to increase it higher than $650 last year, but because we were still in a current agreement, that was the maximum that we could increase it to.
Through the chair, what was the figure we spoke about?
We wanted to go to $750.
750.
Last year.
Last year because we complained about that one.
Yeah.
We don't have, this as now, this is a new agreement, it's going to start.
Well, my opinion is it should be at least that, and goes up with CPI every year. That's bare minimum. I think we should be at least getting out at
750? Okay, Want someone to move that council agrees to lease lot 226 Foster Street to Wise and Power for the sum of $650 per week. 750, sorry. I'm locked down, exactly. 750, thank you. And authorise the CEO to execute appropriate residential tenancy agreement for a period of, how long are we going to release it to them for at that price? 12 months, 2 years?
If they have a 3-year lease that goes up with CPI every year, does that work for everyone?
So 3 years with including CPI.
And a review, with an annual review of equivalent to the CPI.
So 3 years.
Yep.
Well, you have to go for 3 years.
Okay. Right. Okay then, so I'm going to vote, someone to put that on the table. Councillor Black. Someone to second that motion, please. Councillor Williams has seconded it. I'm going to vote for this motion. Yeah. I know.
Sorry?
Nothing really. Peter, his boss will be stuck.
Oh. Joe Wakefield, that was never going to get across the line.
This is 12.25. Council may consider releasing lot 570 Priestley Street for the purpose of employee housing. And that house is owned by Jim's wife. You obviously all read it, it's $350 a week for 12 months. It's a 12-month lease. Any discussion on that? What's everyone think about that?
Through the chair, is that house to be occupied by our ranger, health inspector? Is that who you mean by consultants?
So the house that we're leasing is to be occupied by the environmental officer.
Just himself? Well, what does he need a 3-bedroom house for?
Because there are no one-bedroom houses.
What about the transit house down here that they were staying in?
So that's suitable for short stay accommodation, it's not suitable to stay in long term. And Miss Daniel will be here pretty well all the time, so he's going to be staying all the time.
So, our current, the health inspector we've got back now, he will be doing the same system that Dave had in here, going to other shires as well. So he will have occupancy of that house by himself. So therefore, we're still looking for accommodation for the ranger and anybody else that comes to town, aren't we?
No, the transit house is suitable for short stay. And we also have a number of remote workers who are quite often in town this evening. So that's why we're saying transit house there, which is part of the short stay accommodation. And we are looking to renovate and improve the remote house.
Yeah.
So the pool house needs extensive renovation, which should have been done many years ago. And so we're looking to renovate that. So at the moment, that leaves us with nowhere to accommodate this area.
So because the pool manager has her own house now, where does the other people that come to look after the pool, where do they stay?
So they stay at the Wackra house, and we reimburse them for those individual nights that they stay there. Part of the pool contract is that we will pay accommodation.
So could they not live in that house? If the pool's away doing in other towns, could they not use that one house?
I don't think it's appropriate to have an employee move all of his things into a house. And then
I'm just
somebody
thinking of
else-
the cost of all this to the shire, that's all.
So where we've got, there's a shortfall in the EHO salary by 36,000 this year already. So for the rest of this year, this will cost $5,000. So we are already underspent in the budget.
Right, and so that hasn't been explained to us with the contract of the health inspector. He will still be working for the other shires, but we did ask Lauren last December, I think it was, November, December for a breakdown of what money the other shires are paying our shire, and we've never received that, so
No,
we don't
sorry,
know.
we did provide that.
Sorry?
That has been provided to councillors.
I haven't seen it.
I will represent it again next month for you.
All right, thanks, that'd be good, because that's what we were told, so we know what money's coming in and going out, that's all.
So is there any further comment? What do other councillors think?
This is just for 12 months.
I guess that's, in that 12 months, another house maybe will up to standard, so this is sort of a temporary thing. In 12 months is pretty reasonable as far as I can see. So, is there anyone further discussion on this? Further discussion? Who's going to move that we accept that? Councillor Mooney move, Councillor Jones will second. All those in favour? Carried.
Item 12.26, the Rose Street extension. This is to help with the, Charlie and myself had a meeting with, and Jamie as well, with Rex Transport of the people that are carting all the wind towers through. Yes, Goldwyn is the Rex Transport company, and Goldwyn came as well. We had a discussion with them about how we can get them through town safely without holding our town up and everything else, and the fact that their loads are so big. So to cater for their loads in the future, we need to get some way of getting them through this town without, they won't be able to turn like they are at the moment. So we've come up with what we think is a solution. Rex Transport and Goldwyn are quite happy with what we've proposed to them. So we're going to utilise the new industrial area. I think there's a plan in here of it. Well, anyway, we had a drawing of it on that. We had a drawing of it.
My apologies.
Oh, I should have said it, because I noticed that when I read it the other night.
There's no plan of
Would you
it.
like me to go and print?
Yeah, I don't know who it is, yeah.
Yeah, so you know how we had the other day, we had the meeting over there, that big purpose section. It goes, basically, one part goes through the middle of the market straight
Yeah,
there.
but
Would you
hang on.
like to adjourn
Is
the
it-
meeting?
Yeah,
while I
we'll
go
just
through?
adjourn the meeting for a second. Second adjournment.
Yeah.
So-
It's going to be on 5.
Councillor Clark,
Yeah.
seconded by Councillor Williams. Give us a copy, please. Sorry. Please. Get it here.
That's not going to work, will it?
Look.
So it's going to come off the Sandstone Road?
No, that's going to come off the Great Northern Highway.
Oh, Great Northern
So
Highway.
it's basically going to go on the plan we've already got, follow the plan we have, and they're going to build a all-weather road through from the Great Northern Highway to the end of Moses Street.
Must keep on going and come out with the Great Northern
The
Highway.
wind turbines that are going out that way
But-
now, they come from Geraldton.
Yeah, that's where they're coming from.
Right, well, that's what I meant, the Geraldton magnet road.
Yeah, but yeah, so they're coming that way, but they're coming off the Great Northern Highway.
Yeah.
They're going to turn off.
Turn off. Cool.
Yeah, so they're going to turn off, come down the Belton Road, around the corner, down the straight where the new roadhouse is going to go, and then there. And then
New
back across.
roadhouse. We haven't been told about that.
It's on that plan, you see it there.
Yeah, it's on the plan.
That's on that
It's
plan.
been on the plan for years. Just one thing, have you spoken to Main Roads about the offtakes?
Wow.
Just happy days with it?
Yeah, well, I mean, they can't really visit because they let them come off. So this was, I see, this is. When we go,
We're going to be charging them to do that.
So they're happy for you to have it. Might look at jump up and down.
Because they've got.
This is all going to the mine.
No,
Well, that's important. That's important.
Yeah.
One of that is important. And there's put in special signs, I'll post it permanently.
it's all going to do with, transport and gold university. So it's for them to be able to continue the.
Yeah, right. Thank you.
The issue is gone. So in Moses Street, they're going to sort out all the power in there, so they've got the power lines to drop and shift poles. It's going to be a pole that's to be shifted, they'll sort of that out themselves.
Can they still get around that corner?
So this corner here, because there's an open on the other side, they'll need a 60 to 70 metre turning radius for that. So
Because these are only 100
and that's the next ones are just around the 95 metre mark, the longest. They can still negotiate the corner in Laurie Street. But after that, they can't. So after November, they're not going to be able to turn the corner. So. Can you? Yeah. So we're going to reconvene the meeting now, please. So we're going to put a motion forward on.
Through the chair, Mr. President.
Yep.
I'm taking it they come along, excuse me,
Yep.
I'm taking, they come through here,
Yep. That's Great Northern Highway.
this Great Northern Highway.
Yep.
And then they turn
Left.
left on the Geraldton Road,
Yep.
and then where do they turn into Moses Street?
No, that is Moses Street. Follow the map.
They come out of Moses Street.
They come out of Moses Street. So
Right.
they come up here. That's the Great Northern Highway. They turn left.
Yep.
Up through here. The motocross tracks are going somewhere. Across that's the old railway line and easement. And then they come in and they can then line up coming down the end of Moses Street. So that's it there. It's the Shire Yard here. And they'll come out and then they need a 70 metre turning radius on the end to come out and then they get straight through Richardson Street now.
So where's the Geraldton Road?
Out here. Not on this map. Not on this map. This is Great Northern
It's
Highway.
right down the bottom here, councillor Williams.
Right,
It's
okay.
not on the map at all.
Yeah, see, it's Great Northern Highway, see?
Yep.
That's where they're going to go. So we've got some quotes from Kaminsky's and everything as well. That's the people that did our airport.
This is not going to interfere with the road across, the recreation area out that way, is it?
No, it's going to go through the track.
That's what I mean. Is it going to interfere with where the kids go motocross riding?
No, we've spoken to some people about that and we can modify it for them. At this stage, the road's going to go through here. And then we still have to do all the planning and all the rest of it for the other people part.
Yeah.
So the road's going to go through and then we've got access through to that. And that's basically the first step of that whole estate that we basically constructed, I suppose. And we've got quotes and stuff from someone else for the costumes. The Rex and Goldwyn are going to basically contribute towards.
Yeah, so if council has a look at the estimates that I've provided that were given to us by Commskeys. Yeah. So this is what we have used as cost estimates to provide to Goldwyn throughout the cost of building the road. In relation to this particular quotation, the MOB and DMO are not appropriate because they will be in town and that will be soaked up with other work that the Shire is already doing. The drainage is main roads spec drainage, which is what council will need when they eventually have that road pitchalised, so it will need to be main road spec. So Goldwyn have agreed to pay that price. This is the estimate that Commskeys have provided us that it will cost us to buy that that equipment, that, what do we call it?
Box culverts
Yeah,
and the installation of.
the installation. So the next portion is the earthworks. The Shire will undertake that work ourselves. And we've agreed that with Rex and Goldwind. And then when it comes to the roadworks, again, the haulage base course, the Shire anticipate undertaking that work to save some cash. And Comiskey's have suggested that for them to finish the moisture conditioned subgrade place, it would cost that price that's on the estimate. So when you add that 220 to the 156, we've come up with the $424,000 that Rex and Goldman have agreed to pay to put that road in. So they're quite happy for me to raise an invoice for them tomorrow.
And we're still paying 400,000.
No,
They will.
They will. They're paying for all of it.
So through the chair, the bottom line is, this road has got to be done anyway, so it's certainly going to have benefit.
Yeah, that's what we've gone down that pathway. So when we had the surveyors in a few weeks ago, they come and mark it all out, so you can actually go out there and see what's going. There's heads there. Yeah, so, but the only thing we're going to have to deal with is this intersection later on. But at the moment, because we've got the culvert, there's culvert boxes there with that line. Is that sort of water line? That's where the boxes have to go there. Where the drain, that's the highway itself.
With this quote from Comiskey's, it's $800 and something thousand.
We're not employing them to do all that work.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So the total cost is 424,000.
That's what Rex and Goldman have agreed to pay as a contribution towards the road, yes. And that is the money that the council will need to spend that for the works that we are not doing ourselves.
Right. So we, apart from them paying that, then we have to find that money as well, 400.
No, no.
Our staff will do the work, Councillor Williams.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
So Rex and Goldwind have also said that they would like a community engagement event when they bring the 100 mega long wind turbine through. There's an opportunity to explain to the community what it is they're doing, and would also be a really good opportunity then for us to thank them for the contribution of the road.
And how many other things
so
like an ongoing for months?
it will be. So this year they've got 3 movements planned.
So each movement has about 8 blades on it. Each movement has about 8 wind blades on it. And they're the ones that are in the immediate future. There's a lot more that are waiting to come through.
So they're all going east. They can't come any other direction except for this way. They can't physically come out of Perth or Esperance or anything like that.
The only goal is to unload them, because Gerald can't unload the blades anywhere else.
So these are bigger than the normal ones that come through.
They're going to be bigger. They'll be 105 metres, so they're going to need that extra business. They would not be able to negotiate what to do right now.
We just need to know when they're on the road so we won't go anywhere. We're going to get lost.
Anyway, so we'll just move that council has set the offer of road contribution from Rex Transport towards the construction of the Moses Street extension and authorise the CEO to make budget amendments to the road contributions income and roadworks capital expenditure for Moses Street. Councillor Black, seconded by Councillor Homewood.
Through the chair, do we put the amount of money in the
I think we
resolution?
should. It should actually say
That should have-
424,000.
Yeah. So we know what we're.
Okay, that's good, yeah.
Yeah.
Who was your second again, sorry? Yeah. Sorry. This motion. So we've got our statistics and stuff. Library's doing all right now. Lots of people over there. We've got new activities.
It'd be most appreciated if councillors could promote the library events when they get an opportunity, the story time and the mums and bubs days that's going to happen. Now that Bitty Bitty's closed, there is no gathering.
I'm good to, if you are Gina do a post, I can put it up forward at the parents' somewhere.
Airport's supposed to be better, isn't it?
It's getting better.
No, it's better than last year.
So that's interesting. I had Ramelius come and visit today and say they would like to look at what they can do to bring in bigger planning.
Good, $10 million for the restaurant.
Yesterday,
25.
So no, they're going to investigate what would be needed and what they could do to make it happen. I've told them there's no guarantee of their commitment from the Shire to.
I didn't
Yeah.
get what we're going to do.
I want to bring bigger planes in,
Okay.
but our strip won't handle them.
We're going to have to, we're going to spend that.
Well, the strip's not big enough. It's not long enough. Once we start modifying what we've got, then we have to go all to this current standards that's everywhere. So all the lights have to be changed, everything has to be upgraded to the current date standards, is that correct? We have to change, so we're looking at 20s.
A lot of areas, excuse me, Mr. President, a lot of areas is under a grandfathering clause because of the age of it.
Yeah.
And yes, if we were to do any extensions to link, we would have to basically replace the lights, the new taxiway and apron that we've just done. It's not big enough, it's not sufficient. The fencing would have to change, all the lighting.
At this point in time, Ramelius are just looking at investigating what would be needed to make a bigger plain land, and then they'll come back to us with a proposal. I think it's in their accounts to do that.
so basically if we change the rating or the length of that strip, we're out for a whole new.
Yeah, so we don't do anything. So that's the hardest part. And the bigger, heavier planes will just tear it to pieces.
Oh, this is fantastic.
So, on to item 14, motions of which previous notice has been given, there are none. Notices of motion for next meeting.
Yes, I'd like to make one if you don't mind.
Yep.
I've been in consultation with Cecilia down the pool, and we'd like to suggest that if, when the pool shuts at the end of, it's usually the end of March, and the school holidays are 2 weeks later, so that's probably too late to have it open, but if the weather's really hot at the end of March, can we keep the pool open for another at least 2 weeks?
I'm not sure if that's a contract thing, is it? Or-
So at the moment, the contract has specified dates in it.
Yeah.
If council wishes, I could open negotiation with the contractor to see if they were amenable to extending at the current rate, perhaps.
Yeah.
So you want to put a motion to the meeting for next week?
If the weather's still hot, because we've had spring last year, which was summer. We've got summer, we've got autumn, and it's still summer. So we're hoping that, and the water's still quite warm down there. So if we can extend it, in a couple of weeks, we're talking about it today.
Further chair, try to talk to Adrian and
So the motion would be that council consider an extension to the season, to the 2024-25 season.
And that depends on the weather and the weather forecast, obviously. It's going to be 39 tomorrow and the next day.
Yep.
Councillor
Yeah,
Consent. Very negotiation.
I do remember that last year when we shut, the next 3 weeks were still really, really hot and the kids had nowhere to go on a holiday. And the other motion I'd like to put forward as well.
Can we, sorry, councillor Williams, can we finish this one?
Sorry.
So the notice of motion you would like to bring to council next meeting will be that council consider an extension to the 24-25 swimming season through negotiation with the current contractor at the rate agreed in the existing contract. Okay. So can we have somebody move and second that? Mr. President, please.
Sorry,
you need to.
someone move this motion?
Yeah.
Yeah, and seconded by councillor Black. You gonna vote for that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other motion that I've spoken to Cool Manager about is that to encourage more people to use the pool, and this is for a budget amendment at a later date, the next budget amendment, to make it free for everybody, because we're only, the income's only under $10,000. So, there's programs that I'd like to run down there with the families, have family days, not just the kids, have family afternoons, with barbecue and things like that, but to have the pool free and to try and get more usage of the pool and encourage people to exercise. We've got a lot of exercise equipment down there that could be used by.
So we can talk about this in our budget.
Yeah, but that's what I wanted to
So we'll just do
talk
that.
about this as a budget amendment when we get to that.
So we'll do it when we do the
So
budget.
it probably wouldn't be a budget amendment so much, it would be in our budget consideration for next financial year. And Denise is there and I'm sure she's made a note of that already for the budget.
Yeah, we'll put that in.
Thank you.
So I've got one for myself. I'm going to make some motion that we need an update on lot 400 from the DPLH because we don't know what's going on over there, to be honest with you. And also with Kennedy Court, as to the clean-up of the asbestos contamination, which has been there for over 12 months now, notices were given us. So just going to find out from their point of view what's going on.
It's been cleaned up.
Let's go hear from them though. So we all know what's actually going on. So what someone to next meeting, so it's the CEO to contact the DPLH and just give us an update on what's actually happening on these two properties. One to them. So someone to move that for me, please. That's the motion I'd like to put forward. I'll move it in some of the second. I can move motions. Well, I'll just let you do it. Some of the second motion now. Councillor Jones and vote. Yeah. Thank you. So item 16, urgent business introduced by decision of the meeting. We have none, which means that we move on to the next bit. There's no confidential items tonight. Our next meeting will be on the 26th of March 2025, and I'll close the meeting tonight at 6:40.
25th of March, wasn't it?
26th.
26th, thank you.
Last page.
That's why I need glasses.
So just now that the meeting's ended, I'd like to give councillors a little bit of good news. We've been able to secure a yoga instructor to come to town. So in 4 weeks' time, on Tuesday afternoons from 25 and 6, we'll be having yoga at the hall. And
Casey, the lovely lady who I met, she said for those with mobility issues, she can do chair yoga as well.
so that's a really big advancement for us as a community on that. It's really exciting. And I'd also just like to let councillors know that I will be away next week on leave. I'll still be available by email and phone as always if there's something that comes up, but I will be out of town.
And tomorrow, we've got our CEO's review. Training. It starts
The
here.
actual review.
Not the review, no. Tomorrow, 9 o'clock, the training. And I think it finishes about 4:30, is that correct? And there's lunch provided as well, so if we can come. I'm going to try and organise, I've got to organise somebody to actually do the review. So I've just got some numbers and names, and we're going to organise that as soon as we can. we need to organise to speak to the people, get it all underway, to do the review itself. So I was hoping to do that in March, so that we can take it to our next meeting on the 26th of March. Is that? Yeah. Well, that's what we need to do, so quickly to do it. So what we'll do is we'll do the training tomorrow, and then I'll try and establish a time that's going to be convenient for everybody in March, and then try and get someone to come and do it for us as well at the same time. And if we can't, it'll be either March or early April.